Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy, and I'm sorry, Haywire! You deserve better than me. You deserve better than this. You deserve better everything. Okay. We gotta talk about Haywire. It seems like we do an awful lot of that, where Haywire is always the hot button issue of discussion. She should feel very lucky because she kind of was tossed by the wayside for most of her adult life when kind of most of her exciting days were as a Blitzel, but I digress. Haywire can learn Overheat. I didn't think she could learn Overheat. I've used Blitzels and Zebstrikas before. I didn't know they could learn Overheat. I never thought to even try it because I tried teaching my team Fire-type moves multiple times. Nobody could learn it, and Haywire can't learn Flamethrower. Haywire can't learn Fire Blast, so I didn't even think to try Overheat on her. But I have learned, thanks to some of you, that she can. And you also saw that now her attack stat is actually significantly higher than her special attack, which was not always the case due to her modest nature lowering her attack and raising her special attack. But I think it's high time we redo this. Yes, I know that she can learn Flame Charge, of course. I've used the hell out of that move, but I thought that just kind of had to do with the fact that it was a move that involved running and not so much that it was a move that involved fire. I still don't know exactly how this works, but we're going to teach her Overheat in place of Flame Charge. Even though I like that move and I like the speed buff from it, she's already pretty darn fast, outspeeding many things that have been over her level. On top of that, because that sharply lowers the user's special attack after using it, I think it's time that we get rid of Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is 5 power higher than Wild Charge and does not have recoil damage, but I think we're going to get higher damage out of Wild Charge now that it actually does justify the difference. And because Overheat sharply lowers the user's special attack upon use, and Charge Beam is only a chance of raising her special attack stat by 1 stage, I don't think we need Charge Beam anymore. It would take an awful lot of luck to get back up to where we were after Overheat, and Wild Charge is going to be our main attacking move. I think it's high time we get Volt Switch back on our Zebstrika. It was a good move back when we had it in the first place. I just didn't like it as much as the other moves that I had available at the time, but I think with what we have now, it might make a little bit more sense. I gave a lot of thought to the hold item because I don't think I need the wide lens anymore because Overheat's going to be not her main attacking move any longer. I don't want to buff up with Charge Beam at the start of fights anymore. I think she had great luck with the scope lens last time she had it, and I think we should try that out on her for a little while. She doesn't have any high critical hit moves, and maybe Magnet is the more reliable of the two, but I think we could just try it for some fun. Last time, we explored the Undella Town area and got our aft ends handed to us by a very attractive and strong woman who likes hanging out in this area. But summer is over. Everyone's gone home from their vacations, and Undella Town is quiet once more. You darn snowbirds. Well, actually, no. Snowbirds would mean that they're here in the winter and that they're coming here in the, they're going home in the summer once it's warm enough back home. So never mind. Good on you for not being really annoying tourists who clog up all the roads like it does in winter, like when you live in Florida, because you will learn to really dislike that if you live there for any sort of modicum of time. Or stretch of time. I think modicum is not the correct word. Whatever. Well, out on Undella Bay, right away, I want to see what this is. Eh? Sound like I'm speaking Pig Latin over here. Whalmer! You can be the very round, very aquatic guinea pig that will serve as a good test. Ooh, yeah, there's the PP change whenever you use TMs. Let's see how much this Wild Charge hits for. You're pretty tanky. Let's see. That's what I like to see, being able to beat an unevolved Pokemon that's below your level. That recoil damage is going to make this a little bit of a gambit, though. That did a lot. Whalmer has a lot of max HP, so it shouldn't be doing that much in some of the later attempts that we have with it, but I actually just realized we need to go back to the Pokemon Center real quick. Yes to heal, but also because we need some HM users. Specifically, we need someone who can use Strength and Flash. Oh, Zekrom! I'm not joking. There aren't too many Pokemon that can learn both Strength and Flash. Zekrom is one of the lucky few. So for those of you that were wanting Zekrom to see some more action, you're getting your wish. Though this might not be what you had in mind. For our Diver, we're gonna wear our hip waiter's badge with honor. We're gonna take Blue 2 with us wherever we may be going underneath the surface of the water, and we're gonna think about our club master and how proud he makes us to be an honorary hip waiter. We're so hip, only 2 people in the entire world can be members. Oh yeah, that's right, we had a little bit of exploring to do. Undella Bay is a place that we have not gone to yet and actually has completely different Pokemon from Undella Town. It's amazing the difference that 3 letters can make. Oh, did you come here to see Cynthia in a bathing suit? I didn't, but maybe that man in the house that I called horrible did. Well, Tyra, you have a seal on your team, okay. It's kind of cool that she has that, and I'm not even intending for that to be a pun. I really mean it because there's some ice types that you can find in the water when it's winter. It's a nice touch having that be the case. Let's do another wild charge, see how this goes. It looks so cool to imagine Zebstrika running really fast and just charging right through the opponent. They depict that in the anime where it runs from side to side, kind of like in a lightning pattern, and it looks awesome. Haywire, I'm very happy that you seem to be living up to your full potential. Unfortunately, you're going to take quite a bit of damage from hitting this Alamomola with all the HP that it's got. But maybe... No, not quite. Oh, no. Please don't. Good, good, good. Okay, that's fine. Let's Volt Switch just so we don't risk beating ourselves with recoil damage. I didn't see exactly how much recoil damage I took, so I kind of couldn't do the mathematics in my head right there. There we go. The nice thing about Volt Switch as well, with our main attacking move giving us recoil damage, if we win a fight with Volt Switch, we don't have to switch out or anything like that. There's nothing that keeps you from doing it. You might as well just attack. You might as well just treat it like a normal special attack. It's pretty helpful. This is a learning experience. I think I should probably go and buy more lemonades whenever I have the chance next, because I'm definitely going to be using those a lot more now that I'm taking recoil damage in every fight. These are the fabled diving points that were spoken of in Legends from the girl in the bikini who gave us that HM move. There are a few of them throughout the route. Seeing a Pokemon use its best moves against another Pokemon is really an adventure. If you say so, lady. But I thought we could do a little bit of exploring of the route, just kind of see what we can see around this place. Shelder, I like your floppy tongue. That's very nice. Gives a lot of personality to your animated sprite. I think you were also kind of half-lidding your eyes right there with your oh my gosh, that's really cute. Volt Switch should be enough because you have no special defense. Now, I've been starting to talk about it quite a few times already within the span of the last few minutes, but every single time I think of something else that I want to say, I was wanting to mention that there are indeed new Pokemon that are in Undella Town that we have not talked about, and there are new Pokemon in Undella Bay that we have not yet talked about. We will have plenty of time to do that later. We'll be doing that soon, just not quite yet. For now, we're going to be creating a Great Pacific Garbage Patch by having our giant sentient bag of garbage fighting in the middle of the ocean and losing little bits of itself to the ocean. And Sludge Bomb. I'm still not sure if I want to redo Hilbert's moveset to give him Gunk Shot as his main attacking move just because of the low PP. If we do that, maybe it'll be before some important, really hard fight. I guess you could say Hilbert's really torn about it. And that should top us off quite nicely, getting us to level 64. Haywire is now the strongest member of our team in terms of levels. The adventure is over already. She looks kind of like May with her hair like that. I think Haywire's proven her usability tenfold. I even had some people saying, like, you know, oh, come on, why still even use that Zebstrika when you have a better electric type with Zekrom? Nah, I wanted to make her work. I truly, truly did. She's great. If you have the move Dive, you can dive and sing. And I didn't want to take up your time with another random trainer battle. I was okay with demonstrating Haywire's power a little bit, but things were kind of going on a bit long for my tastes. Grab another honest-to-goodness heart scale that you can use to reteach moves. Always a welcome addition to any bag or satchel that I might have upon my back. Actually, am I even wearing? No, I have a little thing of luggage on my hip. So used to Pokemon trainers having backpacks that I didn't even really give it a second thought, but no, quite clearly that is kind of like a laptop bag kind of style thing. All right. On this, not really so much route though, but in this bay, there are 4 different points where you can use Dive. They all technically lead to the same place, just different parts of it, and we're gonna start with this first one over here. for when we head down. Welcome to Abyssal Ruins. The sound reverberates. You have these ancient poneglyphs that have text on them that is forbidden. This is actually a language, and it can be translated in English. However, it's weird. There is no in-game way to translate that text. The code is in the next Pokemon game that was released. And the idea is that you're supposed to play that game in conjunction with this game, going back with what you know from that game, and then uncovering the secrets of these ruins. It makes my job a little bit awkward, so I do want to let you know ahead of time that there are going to be spoilers, technically, for a future Pokemon game where you can decipher this text. I'm going to be telling you what the text says anyway, even though you kind of can't do that. Right there we have a Dread Plate. That is a held item that increases the power of, I hope, Ghost-type moves. I get that kind of mixed up with the Dark-type one a lot of the time, which makes sense because offensively they're very similar as well. There are lots and lots of treasures for you to find just everywhere, and I totally got turned around right there. It's just kind of a gridded maze. Everything kind of looks the same. It can be very easy to get turned around. And while the idea of having these coded messages for you, the fact that there's no in-game way to trade them, the fact that there's no way to actually see what they're saying, personally, I can't read gibberish, so I just looked at a guide. And I think that's kind of what everyone else did too, because people were able to figure out what these messages were actually saying, or at least figure it out well enough to the point where they could do that. A dull sound echoed. When I think dull sounds, I think, Wazowski, did you file your paperwork? I don't think about ancient ruins that I'm currently inside of shaking with me in it. We grab an iron plate, and I'm just gonna go around trying to grab as many items as I possibly can in a single run. Relic silver. That's a very special item, and we heard that there was the man back in town who would be willing to pay a lot of money for items from the Abyssal Ruins. Any item that you can think of that is found in the Abyssal Ruins but not found anywhere else, you're going to want to hang on to for that. And if we can go onward a little bit, I think I want to go down. Uh-oh. It's like something is stirring in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. A Zap Plate increases the power of Electric-type moves. Where am I even going? I don't even know. It's a torrent of water! Yay, cheery music instrumentating me getting a ruin caving in on top of me! You know, for the kids. So, we have a very long road ahead of us. There's these ancient tablets. There are certain ones that you need to use certain moves in front of, and there's various other ones that do certain things as well. I'm going to be going around trying to get as many items as I possibly can. You get as many attempts at this as you like. It is not limited, but you can only take a certain number of steps in the Abyssal Ruins before it caves in on you. You're not going to be able to get every single item and get to the end of the ruins in one run. It's going to take you several tries to be able to get everything. As such, I'm just going to montage me grabbing the items, and we're going to go over the wild Pokemon that have been able to be found in the last several areas. I was saving it for this, you see? Setting up for that. Several videos in advance. It's like a season-long story arc or something. Okay, no, I don't give myself that much credit. Let's just meet the wild Pokemon. Oh, there is one other thing that I should mention before we get to our montage. It seems like it's never going to happen. The 4 different points. The first one that you go to is the one that puts you on the correct path to get to the end of the ruins. But the other 3 will start you off at different entrances, allowing you to get to certain items sooner. Now let's actually get started. Starting us off, the one and only Fusion Evolution. That sounds cool. Mantike evolves when leveled up with a Remoraid in the party, and wouldn't you know it, Remoraid's coming up soon. As for its role, this is a pretty great special wall. Has a good defensive type and uses multiple great water moves, and thankfully even learns Air Slash, so that flying type is not purely a defensive boost. Unfortunately, that's about all it has. It's so-so at using special attacks and learns a bunch of physical moves that it can't use for beans. In Rippling Water, of course you can find Mantine at higher levels. Right on cue! Told you Remoraid was coming up soon. hopefully you thought it was clever and didn't just read the sidebar before this. This is a Pokemon that I would describe as not horrible, just outclassed. It's a mixed attacker with some pretty good oomph, average defenses, but moves slowly. You can see how those stats are interesting, just not blowing anyone away. Sadly, both of its abilities are normally pretty good on most Pokemon, but aren't useful specifically to it. Most of its good moves have imperfect accuracy as it is, and it doesn't learn high critical chance moves. If you just like Remoraid and want it, take advantage of the cool moves that it learns that other water types don't, because that is the biggest strength to be found on it. Signal Beam, Gunk Shot, Energy Ball, Charge Beam, and even Fire Blast are some cool examples of that. Type coverage is the name of Remoraid's game. As is the pattern, Octillery can be found fishing in rippling water, and it's pretty hard to find. Octillery specifically has a signature move, Octazooka. A 65 power, 85 accurate, special water type move with a 50% chance of lowering the foe's accuracy. Don't let the cool name fool you. It's a bad move with a terrible damage accuracy ratio. Octillery's already great at using Surf, Waterfall, and Hydro Pump, so why waste your time with Octazooka? Wailmer is a tough one to talk about. Tons of HP, pretty good mixed attacking stats, but just trash everything else. With weird and unhelpful abilities, bad speed, and even worse defense that doesn't do much to back up that HP very well, makes it very unwieldy to use. A whale doesn't want to be in shallow conditions like this one. Wailmer winds up just using water and ice moves most of the time, and it has a couple of fun options like Earthquake, but it often doesn't get much use out of it due to being so slow compared to the electric types that it would be countering with that, and already having ways to deal with rock and fire. The biggest and best thing about Wailmer is the deadly Water Spout. This is 150 power, 100 accuracy, special water type damage that targets all adjacent foes. Barely any Pokemon learn this, and it's incredible. The catch is that its power reduces relative to the user's HP, and like we've seen, Wailmer is slow. It's not like the worst Pokemon of all time or anything, just very situational and takes good judgment to use. As you're probably getting tired of hearing, Wailord can be found in the rippling water in Undella Bay, but not in Undella Town. The Spheal family is up next, and it appears only in the winter waters. Water and ice is a good dual stab. It gets great moves for both, but not a whole lot else. Seems like I'm saying that about a lot of move pools today. I guess we're in shallow waters. It's slow with good stats everywhere else and has good bulk, but be warned, it only resists its own two types. It usually performs best by using either ability to its edge and stalling with Toxic, then just attacking whenever possible. Just middle of the road here. Celio can be caught at perfectly fine levels to evolve right away, but Celio and Walrein are both caught in the same place. Celio's not hard to find in rippling water for once, so there's the ease of availability over the many other water types that we have seen. Definitely something that this family has going for it. This place really sucks. This place really sucks. This place really sucks. I have been here over an hour, going through the samey corridors, grabbing what feels like a couple hundred different items. And yeah, we're finally about done. Okay. Thank goodness for you that I consolidated all this. We're gonna dive down one final time. You wanna go on the lefternmost of the points. And what I'm gonna do now, this is technically the most, I guess it's not plot spoilers or anything, it's just spoiling solutions to coded messages that you would technically not get for another game, but I'm showing it now because it is helpful to you and does help you get some really darn good items that would be helpful to you at the present times. That's why I chose to show it this way. I'm going to show you the optimal path through the Abyssal Ruins, all the while reading you what all of the coded messages say. Listen to King's words. Primes lead to truth. King is brave. King never loses hope. King is kind. King has a dream. King is adventurous. King accepts all. King turns second corner. King turns third corner. King turns fifth corner. King turns seventh corner. Have the heart of King. Here we praise King. King's light shines. King moves his people. King acts with love. King fought hatred. No king gets lost. Go on, brave King. What a guy. It is referencing that every time that there is a turn that is a prime number from this first entrance, you should take a turn as well. Personally, once again, I just looked at a guide because I don't understand gibberish. We're gonna go to the middle. This message tells you it is important to reach this tablet within 190 steps of entering the dungeon. If you follow the pathway that I've shown you, you should have no problem doing that. And that moves us up to the second floor. There's stone tablets up here as well. They read, life is gratitude. Eating is receiving life. Good or evil isn't it all. Do not be barbaric. One must not waste. All is precious. Wars create tears. Shine if agreed. Oh, Zekrom! Show him your glorious pecs. That moves that out of the way. You can go either up or down, does not matter which. It's going to be the same number of steps to the next exit. And there's, you guessed it, more ancient stone tablets that are going to make you chuckle. King talks to all beings. Saved all from waves. King is hope for all. Think, act with love. Act strong, if agreed. Alright, you show him your glorious pecs, but in a different way that won't get you in trouble. That brings us to the top floor. Your final reward are some more stone tablets, which are not decipherable. There are symbols on these stone tablets, these four in particular, that do not translate to any letter in the English language. It is believed that they are logograms, characters in a language that are meant to describe a concept rather than a sound or a letter. So I can't tell you what they say, but they read something along the lines of, King defeated blank alone. Blank joined King in a day. King called blank beings. King is hope and future. And the great King blank. The blank spaces in the deciphered text made by those symbols is a different number of characters in every single language. As a result of this, people have noticed that there is only one king that we have heard of in this story, and it just so happens that that last blank after the Great King happens to be the same number of letters in every language as the name Harmonia. This text is essentially prophesizing the existence of N leading Pokémon, which it doesn't give you any real new information about N, it just sort of prophesizes the fact that he exists. And I ran into a wild Pokemon before I've even moved one step! Gen 5 encounter rates just find new ways to keep surprising me over and over again, and it's not at all a good thing. Alright. Thankfully you can. I do have to say some positive things about the Abyssal Ruins. I don't care for spending over an hour running around that maze grabbing items, but I do at least give them credit for letting you save your repels. Aside from when you have to go to the different diving points above the water, you don't need to bring any sort of repels in with you. It's fine. You can just go, and that's nice. I also like the music a lot. I was quiet and let you hear it there for a little bit when we first walked in for a reason. It is a good song. It's very atmospheric. And the idea of underwater ruins is definitely a creative one and just a really interesting type of location we hadn't really seen in the series before. And not only that, but it's based on a real-life location. Specifically, it's based on the Yonaguni Monument, which actually isn't too different from how the Abyssal Ruins themselves appear. Our world can really be a fascinating place. We don't live in the boring universe, you're just used to the rules of this universe, so you think the fantasy ones sound cooler, but ours would be pretty amazing to somebody who lives in a different universe. Trust me on that. Back up on Route 13, there is yet another related thing to the Abyssal Ruins that I would like to show you. It's that, for one, we're going to talk to the Treasure Maniac, He'll give us a thick club today. But he's just the tip of the iceberg. Behind this house, we are able to keep walking. You never know, just making sure. But behind this tree, there's actually more water that you can surf along. First of all, there's a pearl string, already worth the trip out this way, but that's not all. I found this plate when I used the move Dive in the sea around Undella Town, but I don't know how to use it. You can have it if you like. Splash plate improves the power of water-type moves. I have another one. Take this too. Give an ancient priceless artifacts to a random stranger. Sounds like a good idea. I'll be sure to learn from your good example. They say there's a sunken temple at the bottom of the sea around Undella Town. Those plates are resting in the temple. Maybe they're treasure. In all, that should give you 16 plates. That is one for every type excluding normal. Every single plate except for the Splash and Draco plate can be found inside the Abyssal Ruins, and like you said, he was the one who took those out of the Abyssal Ruins. In addition, you should have 7 relic gold, 6 relic silver, and 6 relic copper. Then for the unique ones, 3 relic statues. Well, I guess it's not really what unique means if there's 3 of them, so disregard that. 4 relic vases, 5 relic bands, and the truly unique 1 relic crown. A maniacal human being will buy them for a high price. And I know just the maniacal human being we should take them to. Now, I've complained a lot. I have. I've said a lot of good things about the Abyssal Ruins. I've said a lot of bad things about the Abyssal Ruins. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, is it really worth my time to go in there for over an hour and grab all those items? Yes, 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 1,000 times yes! The item prices that the prices that he will pay for these items is unreal. Granted, when you take into consideration that he's a billionaire and this is yen that we're talking about, I don't know. Which, I've actually wondered that before. I would think that yen, considering that 1 yen is equal to 1 US penny roughly, I wonder if anyone's ever moved to Japan after they had $10 million just so they could say that they were a billionaire in their country as a status symbol just because it's the easiest country to be a billionaire in once you convert all your money over. Sounds like something I would do if I had that much money. Well, buy relic bands. They each sell for 100,000 Pokédollars. I do want to tell you that if you are one of those crazy completionists similar to how I play Okami and you just have to have 1 of every item in your inventory, otherwise it's just no good, which I don't feel that way about this game, so even my own behavior's consistency surprises me. These are the only relic items that you will find in the entire game. If you don't want to get rid of them, maybe don't sell them to this guy. At least keep 1 of them. And as you saw right there, I exceeded 1 million Pokédollars. This is a series first in being able to exceed 999,999. You know what that means? At long last, I can finally buy that bike. Well, if not that, I'm still glad that this feature arrived early enough that it happened before they started giving us expensive clothing boutiques where we'd have to start buying clothes for ourselves. That's the last one. I broke 2 million a long time ago. I got a very good item. Don't you think it's great? Don't you? He will still ask you if you have any such rare items, and he will growl at you despite all that you have done for him and his spoiled ass, but in all, you get 1,706,000 Pokédollars for selling every item that is exclusive to the Abyssal Ruins. It's a fairly nice chunk of change, but there's actually not a lot to use money on. This is a series first. Once again, we're just hitting all the series firsts. For there to be no game corner. So you don't have that added attraction that, hey, with millions of Pokédollars, I don't even need to play in the game corner. I could just go to the Abyssal Ruins for an hour and then buy everything that I want with, exchanging money for coins. You can't do that. There's no crazy expensive clothing boutique for you to shop at. There's no way to exchange cash for BP, which personally, I think is very overdue for them doing that because it really annoys me how long it can take to get some of those later items, but you can't do that either. As a result, I think what I want to use my fortune on is purchasing every TM from every technical machine department. It's not gonna help us a whole lot, but it just felt wanting this whole time having this many items that are technically key item-like status that we haven't obtained. I just like having as full of a TM section of my bag as I possibly can. In Mistralton City, there's the 4 weather TMs if you want to do this as well. Cheerful little Isurus city that barely qualifies as a city at all so much as it does a happy little village has got Blizzard, Thunder, and Fire Blast. And let us not forget Shopping Mall 9 with Hyper Beam and Giga Impact. Not necessary to do this, I just feel better when I do. And why not? Because I am on a money roll and I can't stop talking about how rich we are. Let's go pay a visit to the Item Maniacs one more time as well. Since we paid a visit to one, let's visit all of them. With the lovingly named Gourmet, there's a few money-making tricks that we can now take advantage of that we couldn't before, as well as just some things that I hadn't mentioned prior. In Isurus City and a few other places, there are respawning tiny mushrooms and big mushrooms, so you can just keep turning them into her every few days. She'll buy the old Gateau that you got from Cedric Juniper for 4,000 Pokédollars, and you should also have a lot of rare candies now, which she'll pay 10,000 each for. I don't think you should do that, but it is there if you don't care about your rare candies. Combee has the ability Honey Gather, and honey will sell to her for 500. Shoal Salt can be obtained by the Treasure Hunter that is out on Route 13, the guy that we just saw not that long ago, actually, so this fits in doubly well. This Item Maniac will buy Shoal Salt for 7,000 Pokédollars. They're nice little tiny money-making tricks, but nothing I would consider as good as actually fighting trainers and equipping the amulet coin, especially now that we have access to the Rich's house. Or, pardon-moi, villa. Back to Isurus City Pokemon Center, I should have just talked to this guy and shooken him to his core right away instead of waiting on it. We got a big nugget from the Rich's backyard that they didn't seem to even care about remotely, and you can get 30,000 for that. Technically, I guess you could add that onto the amount of money that you're getting out of that billionaire guy, but you're digging through his garbage. That amount of money isn't worth anything well, it's worth like 5 relic golds, but still, small change compared to what we have now. The Comet Shard, this could be obtained by having strength in the entrance to the Giant Chasm. Very worthwhile item. Definitely go back and grab it if you haven't already, because at 60,000, it is the best amount of money you can obtain for selling anything that is not a relic item. Pearl String we picked up also ties into this. Pun not intended. I swear. And this guy is where you unload your shoal shells onto from the Treasure Hunter. You pay 7,000 for them as well. After selling all of our items that exist for the sole purpose of selling to NPCs, I was able to break 1.7 million yet again. Wow! If that ain't an accomplished day, I don't know what is. We have made more money than what we will ever know what to do with for the rest of our short little lives. Anyway, though, that is everything in the general vicinity of Undella. Except for the riches themselves when it comes to battling, but hey, can't win them all. Not enough real time has passed for me to be able to do everything it is that you're able to do inside of that villa, so we're going to be revisiting it at a later time. With all that said and done, next time on Pokemon Black and White, we head out of Undella, now that vacation season is over, and explore Route 14. See you guys then.